What's up, AFC? This is Kyle Rice. I'm one of the interns here. I'm actually the associate minister here at the church, and I work in large part with the campus. So if you're new, welcome. If you're old, welcome. We are doing a study in the life of Abraham in Genesis. And today we are going over the first part of chapter 17. And there's really one point that I want to key in on and hit in on today. And it starts in verse 2 of chapter 17, and it says this: that I may make my covenant between me and you and may multiply you greatly. This is God talking to Abraham right now. Then Abram fell on his face and said to him, Behold, my covenant is with you, and you shall be the father of a multitude of nations. No longer shall your name be called Abram, but your name shall be called Abraham, for I have made you the father of a multitude of nations. And so now is when God has changed Abram's name into Abraham. The covenant is being fulfilled here. Abram is 99 years old when this happens. And so what I wanted to really talk about today was the idea of identity. There's a saying that goes, if God made you to be a janitor, why would you stoop so low as to be a king? And the opposite of that, if God made you to be a king, why would you stoop so low as to be a janitor? The idea being that you will never be all that you can be, the most that God has for you, the most that God has created you to be, unless you are what He has created you for, this identity that God had created and predestined Abram to become Abraham. And it's that identity. And we also see later in the Bible where Saul becomes Paul. And the idea that God had created Saul, and when God opened up his heart and broke into his heart, he became Paul. And the main point that I wanted to hit on is that some of us, I know, have different pasts and different backgrounds as far as where we've been or what we've done, and sometimes that past or that background deters us from the gospel. Saul was a murderer. Paul was a fierce man of God. And so who were you before Christ broke into your heart? Or who is God trying to fulfill in you? Or who is God trying to make you believe that you are right now, so that you can be everything that He created you for? What walls is He trying to break down and trying to love and forgive you enough for? What we do as Christians is we make the mistake that thinking our sin is too much for the cross to take. Like our sin is too great, that the brutal death of Jesus Christ on the cross wasn't enough to take that. The cross of Christ was enough. And so my question to you guys is, who is Jesus trying to make you into? What has He created you for? Who were you then, and who were you now? As Saul, who were you? And as Paul, who are you?